to use and very intuitive, and makes programming and actually operating system experience in general very easy for both newbies and for developers out there who are looking to try different operating systems for their development. Now, before we get started, let's take a look at what we are going to cover today. So let's pull out my notes that I've made for this screencast and see where we can go from there. I think it's this one. Alright, so let's kill this one right here. Let's move this to the second screen or the third screen. Let's move it to the second screen. Alright, so it's right here. Okay, and also let me launch a video, my webcam, so that you guys can see my face. Oh yeah, my ugly face. I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah. So we're going to make this a little bit small so that it doesn't cover the whole screen. Alright, let's put it right there. And again, my name is Joseph. I'm gonna take you through some of the features of Easenix Linux. I'm trying to make this window borderless so that it wouldn't take up so much space. Okay, and then I'm gonna move it a little bit closer to the side. Alright, actually let's do this. Let me first make it sticky so that we can see it on other screens, because if I move to other screens it doesn't appear. Okay, so for it to appear on all the screens it has to be sticky, and the way you do that is like that. Alright, so now whichever screen I'm on, the video will still show. Now we can go ahead and make it borderless. Select a border, make it borderless, and apply it. Let's move it again a little bit down here. Then this will work. That should be fine. Alright, so let's look at Easenix Linux. So what's this operating system all about? Well, first let's look at the base system. This operating system is based on Ubuntu 11.10. Yeah. This, for those of you who are new to Linux, Ubuntu operating system or Ubuntu Linux is one of the most popular, well, it's the most popular operating system to use among the Linux community, and also for new users from other operating systems such as Windows and Macintosh trying out Linux. It's always easy to start with Ubuntu if you're new. It has a very user-friendly interface and very easy to use, very customizable, so it makes it very inviting. Alright, so that's and let's look at the kernel. You can actually see the kernel we're running from here, which is 3.0013. Alright, and it's the generic kernel. You can also launch a terminal and check it out from there. So let's do uname R and let's do all. So this is the kernel that's running, okay? And this is Ubuntu, like I said, and this is running on our x86. we're not doing 64 bits. This is x86. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at what is in our notes with the stuff we want to cover in this screencast. So first of all, we want to take a look at the base system, which I just showed you. So this is based on Ubuntu 1.0, I mean 11.10, all right, which is the newest version of Ubuntu. Now that the system works, Easenix Linux works in such a way that even if Ubuntu comes up with a different version, which they do almost every 6 months, they come up with a newer version of their system. Even if they do, you can easily upgrade your system without breaking your E17 interface. All right. So this is E17. Easenix Linux is based on Ubuntu 11.10, like you saw, and the base and the main desktop environment is Enlightenment, E17 for short, for this version of Enlightenment. All right, and let me show you that right here. So when you go here, about, so we run in Enlightenment, and the 64957 that you see here is the version that is currently running. This is the current trunk version, which has been checked into the repository by the developers of E17. All right, the E17 is so huge. Okay, it has so many developers. As you can tell, there's a team of developers down here, and they are working on different aspects of E17. So anytime they finish their work, which is still under heavy development, as it says right here, Enlightenment is under heavy development. So every single day, the developers check in their work, they fix different issues, bugs, and stuff like that, and they check it into the repository. And with this system, with Easenix Linux, you can easily update your whole system to the current version of E17, which has been checked in by developers. So every time you click over here, update, you enter your password. Let me show you. I'm not gonna do the whole system upgrade, but I'm gonna show you how it works. We got an issue right here. Let's see. Let's try it again. Okay, so I entered the wrong password. That's why it just quit on me. But as you can see, it's going into the repository and it's checking in all the different updates, all the different files that have been updated, or applications that have been updated since the last time I updated the system. So when I showed you the version right here, it was 64957. So right now it's checking in this version, this new version. The revision is updating the whole system to 65023, which is the newest version in the trunk, in the repository. So once this update is done, it's gonna actually, I'm gonna leave it for it to run and update itself, since I haven't updated it in the past 2 days. But it's so easy with Easenix Linux to update your core Ubuntu system, which you do just as you would use apt and get with any other Ubuntu operating system. Okay, which you can actually do from right here, Update Manager. So you click on Update Manager, and again you provided your password, and it will pull up the Update Manager, just the same Update Manager you see on any other Ubuntu system, and then you can update your Ubuntu. And again, if they come up with a new version in 6 months from now, which I guess will be 12.04, you will see the update right here, and you can easily click on that and update to 12.04, and also update your E17 from here and stay consistent with both systems. So you'll always have a bleeding edge operating system which is up to date with both core systems and desktop environment system. Alright, so this updates right here, I'm gonna run that as well right now. Let me see if there are anything that require me to reboot before I do that though. So I don't want to reboot whilst I'm doing this screencast. Usually things that will require reboots are mostly system-based applications such as the kernel and video drivers and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem like there are any such application here that requires reboot. So I'm gonna go ahead and install my updates and let my updates run whilst I'm doing this screencast. Okay, this is a live screencast, guys, so bear with me. I'm not gonna edit anything. I don't have time to do any edits today, so I'm just gonna put up what we get, what you see right now. Alright, so just bear with me. And so that's that for the versions of both the base and the desktop environment. And Easenix Linux only comes with E17. It is primarily based on E17. Alright, so you're not gonna see any other desktop environment such as GNOME or Unity or whatever when you're trying to log in. So let's look at the modules that makes up E17. E17 is built around modules. Excuse me. And the way you get to your modules is now again, let me show you this. Anytime you want to get to your menus, you just left click anywhere. Excuse me. Excuse me. Alright. You just left click anywhere on your screen and you can get your menus. Alright, so that's how you get to your menus. So let's go to the modules. The settings right here is where you can tweak almost everything about your system. Okay, so you can go to the systems panel from here. You can go to your gadgets and your modules and shelves and themes and wallpaper and also Ecomorph. Ecomorph is it's a clone of Compass. So for those of you who love Compass animations and features, you can use Ecomorph to get the same effects running E17. Alright, so let's go to our modules, which is what E17 is built around. All these are modules, okay? All these are stuff that you can enable and disable. The systems has its modules that there are core modules that are enabled by default. So some of these stuff right here, if you disable them, you will have a system that is not very functional, especially with the core and with the settings right here. Alright, so you want to leave the settings checked out or loaded just as it looks right now, and the default is fine, but you can always go in and enable some more modules if you want. For instance, the notification module and the winless NG. Okay, this module is cool. If you load it, anytime you do alternative plus control key, and then you do period or a comma at the same time, you will get different windows, or you can see your window. So let me show you what I mean. I just loaded it, so if I do that, I get this small window, which is also very customizable. You can customize this window, and you can go to different windows. So your period is what moves it forward, and your comma is what brings you back. All right. Okay, so that's how modules work. And like I said, everything is a module in E17. So for instance, this module here, this dock here that you see is called engage. Let me show you the name. So this is engage, okay? Engage is also a module. So if I wanted to disable this engage module, I would go here under utilities, I think. All right, there it is. And then I will unload it and watch what happens when I unload it. It will cause this and this to disappear because they are both engage modules. So check that. See that? Just as I unloaded it, they both disappeared, and I can load it back and it will appear again. All right. So everything here is a module. All right. So what if I wanted to put a module that is that I load onto my desktop? Because most of these modules here you can put on your desktop. For instance, the calendar module, the weather module, and the clock and backlight and all that can be put on your desktop. So the way you do that is let me find one module that is easy to load. Okay, well, let me just show you where the modules appears. So I'm gonna unload the calendar, okay? And then the way you load modules is to go to you go to settings and you go to gadgets. So you put modules you've loaded on your desktop through the gadget interface. All right, so when I go here, you can see I don't have the calendar showing up here anymore. All right, the calendar is right here. I just unloaded it, so it's no longer loaded, so it's not showing here. Okay, but if I load it again, it might or might not show. We might have to refresh to see it. Okay, so let's scale it and let's load it again, the gadgets again, and now we should see calendar. Okay, so it's right here at the bottom. All right, so that's how it works. So modules that you load will show up in your gadgets, then you can put them on your desktop. But what if I wanted to add this calendar on my desktop? Let's kill this one. You know how that works. You just click on it and you click on add gadgets. All right, now for whatever reason, E17 puts gadgets that you add on your desktop initially right here, somewhere around here where compass is set up. This window you see here is compass. Is conky. All right, so if I add, it's gonna go behind conky, because that's actually a window. So it's gonna go behind conky. Then we will have to kill conky to be able to drag it to where we want. All right, so now we cannot drag it, as you can see, but I'm gonna kill conky, and this is one way that you kill running applications, and I'm gonna show you some other ways whilst we go along. But you can just do pkill and you give it the application name, assuming you know the name, and then it's gone. Okay, so now I can go ahead and drag my calendar to wherever I want. So let's just say I wanted to put it somewhere here. Okay, so now I can do alternative R and restart my system or refresh my system, and conky will be restarted as well. Okay, so that's how you add gadgets, module gadgets to your desktop. All right, so let's delete that. And again, you can add anything. Let's add one more. You can add anything. Let's add a speaker icon. For instance, the speaker icon right here, when you add it, it's gonna also come right behind Conky, and we can kill it again and drag it to where we want. Okay, and now we have a speaker icon that you can click on and use your slide to manipulate the icon. And you have the same speaker icon here, so there's no need to have it on your desktop. I mean, unless you just want to clutter your desktop up, but it's a matter of personal preference. Okay, guys, so you can do what E17 is so customable. You could do anything you want with E17. All right, so let's go back here and let me delete this first. Remove, and then let me refresh so I can get my Conky back and see what my system is doing. All right, let's kill this one. All right, excuse me. Give me 1 second. Blow my nose. Okay. So let's look at what we have to do next. All right. So we showed, now let's look at the panel, the E17 systems panel, or settings panel. It's actually settings panel. It doesn't matter. Settings. Alright. So let's look at that. Let's go to screen number 1. And this is your settings for E17. So when you click on that, with this panel, this is the update is still running, so as you can just rightly see, it updated successfully one of the E17 packages, which is called INA. Alright, so the update is still working whilst I'm doing this screencast. Okay, there it is, still working. Alright, it found that it has to update these modules, so that's what it's doing right now. It's gonna skip everything else. These are all the modules that have been loaded right here. Okay, and these need to be upgraded or updated, so that's what it's doing right now. All right, so let's see. So with this settings panel, you can do essentially, you can tweak everything on your system. You can tweak your look and feel. You can change desktop wallpapers. I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. There are 2 ways to change, well, there are 3 ways to change your wallpaper, which I'm gonna show all 3. And then you can change your themes here, and your applications. You can change your fonts and ecomorph. You can use ecomorph if you want the compass effects. And you can give applications borders and non-borderless and all that. Okay, so whatever border you want to give an application, you can select from here. You can change your icon themes, mouse, cursor. Okay, it's using the enlightenment cursor right now. Yeah, you can change that. You can change your transitions, how you want desktops to change, background changing, fades and crossfade and all that stuff. Alright, you can change tweak the composite manager and how it works. Alright, you can change your screen resolutions from here and screensaver. You can manage your windows, how you want your windows to appear and look like. You can do that. You can manipulate your menus from here. Alright. Now you can set up languages, and now you can go here to the advanced and check performance and see how things are scaling up on your system. Now you can use your run dialog. This is the run dialog that actually, this is a different run dialog. This run dialog is this one right here. Okay, I just did my window key and space bar. Okay, but you can make it bigger. Let's say, oh, actually that's the number of applications I want in there. But if you wanted to make it bigger, you can go to geometry. I went to the advanced. It was basic before, so this is advanced and then geometry, and then you can set how big you want the width and the height to be. So let's apply, and let me do that again, and see now it's bigger. Alright, so let me make it smaller again. Let me make the height small. It's still a little. Actually, this is the height. This is the maximum height and maximum width. Okay. Not what I wanted. Let's bump up the width just a little bit. Let's see how this looks. It should be okay. I'll leave it like that. So what this does is just like your those who have used Genome Do and other search applications on other operating systems, you can just start typing stuff and they'll show up here, and you can select and just hit enter. And for instance, if I select UXTM, it will launch it up right here for me. Okay, so that's how that works. Alright, so inputs here, you can change key bindings and mouse bindings, and launchers here, we're gonna look at everything web search in a second, in a couple of minutes actually. And here you can change some extensions around. So your microphone on your speaker icon is right here. You can launch the mixer and tweak stuff right here. Okay, and then you can go to your files and change the behavior of the files. Another core package eCore has been built successfully. And you can for instance set the behavior here. If you want a single click or a double click, you can uncheck this for double click. Alright, and you can have the file manager open up the file manager when you mount devices. Okay, so this is Enlightenment File Manager we're talking about here. We're not talking about Nautilus, although Nautilus has been provided here for convenience sake. Okay, so for those of you who like Nautilus, you can still use it right here. Alright, but this right here refers to this file manager here. So this file manager that I just clicked on is your Enlightenment File Manager, and this is also a module. Okay, so this is where it's located. Let me go back to the module and files. This is what you're looking at. So if you unload this, if I were to unload this right now, let me show you, just so you know that everything in Enlightenment is a module. If I unload it, gone. They are gone. Alright, let me load them back, and they are back over there. Alright, so everything is built around modules in E17. Okay, so let's kill this one. And preferences, you can also change stuff around your Ubuntu one and email settings, and most of these here you can do right here at the bottom. That's what this bottom dock is for. So your Ubuntu one right here, when you click on it, you get your Ubuntu one to apply checkout stuff into your cloud. Okay, but then if you were already on this window, you can also click here and get the same thing. Alright, so E17 is just amazing, guys, and it's amazing. It's just uncomprehendable the stuff you can do with E17. So let's look at what's coming up next. Let's show a couple of ways that you change wallpapers, and we pick 3 that we know of to show here. Alright, some of which will change the whole 4 screens, the 4 different screens that we are on, and I think one of them will change only one screen at a time. So we're gonna show all 3 with different so for instance, with the different ways that you can change the wallpaper, we're gonna show all 3 using the 3 different ways here. Okay, so each one of these that we show will introduce you to one way to change wallpaper. Alright, so let's start with the first one, which is the easiest way. So you go to your settings and you click on wallpaper. Alright, you don't need to do the advanced if you just want to apply the wallpaper to all the screens, all the different screens. But if you wanted to apply to just one desktop at a time, you can click on advanced and click on this one right here. But let me show you the first one first. So let's pick this wallpaper right here, or this one, and click apply all desktop. Okay, so now when I move over to the different desktops, we have the same wallpaper for all the desktops. Okay, if I wanted to apply a different wallpaper, but this time I want to apply it to only this desktop right here. Okay, then I will click on that, and now only this desktop will have this wallpaper, but the others will have the one from before. Okay, so that's one way to change wallpapers. Let's look at the second way. Let's leave this open. And the second way is the same thing. You go here to settings, and instead of wallpaper, you pick wallpaper 2. And this is actually very slick. So you can maximize the window or whatever size you want. And anytime you choose a wallpaper, it will give you a preview of how it's gonna look like. Okay, so this one will look like that, and this will look like this. Alright, so let's apply this one. And now, as you can tell, this applied the wallpaper to all the screens. Okay, so the first one, you can choose which screen you want to apply the wallpaper to, but the second option will apply the wallpaper to all screens regardless. Alright, so you have no choice over there. The third option, which is this one, and you go to a file manager, and then you pick up a picture or an image. Let me go here to shares and then background. That's not what I want. I want background. There it is. And then you can pick a wallpaper here. Whatever wallpaper you pick, you could just apply it. Okay, so let's pick this wallpaper here. Alright, and then you can set as background. You can use the original file, will um, which will use the same file located here on the background. So if you mistakenly delete this wallpaper on the background, then that background will not work anymore. But if you don't choose use original, it will make a copy of this into your e.e folder, which is located under your home folder. So let's import just to make a copy. Okay. So now it sets up the screen with this wallpaper. Now let's go to the other screens to see if it changed all the other ones. Nope. So as you can see, only the second option changes the wallpaper for all screens, but the first one and the third option does not change all the screens. Okay. So what I'm gonna do right now is go to different screens and have every screen have a different wallpaper. Alright, so I'm gonna use the first option to do that, which is this one. Excuse me, my voice is, I'm kinda a little sick today, but I gotta get through this. So for the first screen, we're gonna use, I like the gray lines for the first screen, so that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna click on advanced so I can set it to only this desktop. Click apply. Then I'm gonna move this. I don't wanna reopen it, so I'm gonna move it to the second screen. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna pick a different wallpaper for this screen. I'm picking this Linux wallpaper. Apply. So now the first screen has this wallpaper and the second screen has this wallpaper. Alright, let's move again over to the third screen. Let's go over there and let's apply different wallpaper. I like the Ubuntu. This wallpaper comes with the regular Ubuntu installation, the new 11.10. That's pretty cool. Alright. And the last screen, let's move this over again one more time. Alright. So this screen, we can pick up some other wallpaper. This is a Linux Mint wallpaper, but it's pretty cool. We're not gonna use that. We're gonna, let's see something. Alright, so let's have this one be just that. So that's what is already selected. So we're just gonna close from here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different wallpapers. Okay, which is pretty cool because it doesn't make your screen look so boring. Okay. Alright, so that's how you change wallpapers in E17. Now let's look at the dock. We're gonna look at the top, left and right. We don't have a dock on the left, it's bottom. Alright, so let's look at the top one first. Actually, this top one is where your windows that you have opened up appears. Okay, so your iconified windows will go over there, and any windows that is opened up in view will also show up over there. So the update is finished. I just closed that one. Let's close this one too. Okay. Alright. So now the only windows we have open is the camera and this one. Alright. Alright, so when you open up a window, it shows up over here, so you can minimize and maximize it. Okay, can minimize and maximize. But then what this is pretty neat, because when the more applications you open up, the dock will divide itself accordingly to accommodate the number of applications that you have running on the screen at the time. So as I open more applications, you see the dock dividing itself up to accommodate all those different applications. Okay, and whatever application you mouse over will be highlighted. Okay, just like you see here. All right. So if I were to open more applications, it will keep dividing itself up into smaller pieces until you probably will see only the images shown. All right. So let's just give it a little spin here. I'll open up more calculator applications, more instances of calculator. You see that? So it keeps dividing itself up, and it's a pretty awesome thing. So I'm gonna kill all these calculators with just one simple command, and I'm gonna show you an easy way to kill applications, which is called htop. Okay, so you click on htop. We're gonna go to that dock in a second. So to search for calculator, you can hit F3, and I think it's called G calculator or genome calculator. I forgot the exact name. Okay, it's called GCal. Alright, so as you can tell, these are all applications running for GCal with different processor IDs. We have about more than 15 of them open up. But to kill all these, what you can do is whichever one is highlighted, when you press F9, you can kill that. Okay, so one of them is killed, and you can keep pressing F9 to kill them, F9 to kill them. Okay, but you cannot do that forever. So the other thing you can do is, instead of doing F9 to kill all of them, see we still have 2 here open up. You can also do pkill. And this time you give it the name of the calculator. It's called gcal2, and then it will kill all of them for you instead of doing it one by one. Okay, so there are 2 ways to kill applications, or there are other ways as well, but for new users, these 2 will suffice. All right. So let's kill htop. So htop is pretty decent. You can use it to search misbehaving applications on your system, and then if you don't know the processor ID, you can find out the processor ID and then kill it. This is your processor ID. So every application that runs on your system has an ID assigned to it, okay, which is the process ID. If you know the process ID, then you can easily kill it in the terminal using the kill command. But if you don't know the process ID and you know the name, you can use pkill. Pkill will kill it using the name. And if you absolutely don't know the process ID and the name of the application, then htop comes in handy, because you can just come in here and use your mouse to scroll over and find out the application that is misbehaving and kill it. Okay. And there are some functions down here. F1 is help. Okay, so you press that, you can get some tutorials here to see how you use htop. There is a setup, F2, in which case you can set up the interface, how you want it to look like. Okay, and the search, F3 for search. That's how you search applications, and then you can use F4 to invert it. Okay, and you can do a tree mode with F5. Okay, so you see here it's in a tree mode right now, or you can do F7 for nice. Okay, and then F9 to kill and F10 to quit. So let's quit. So that's how you use HTOP, right? Okay. We already saw these settings. It is your applications icon right there. The applications uses this very one here uses Nautilus. So when you have it opened up, you can always click on application here to start it up. All right. So again, you can click many times and have different instances opened up. All right. So that's that for applications. And you have XTEM right here. We don't need to show that. Everybody knows what XTEM is, at least for. If you don't, it's just a terminal similar to the ones you've seen before. This is Banshee. This is your backup tool. So you can use this to back up your system. Alright. This is your disk utility right here. And this is your mail settings. You can set up a mail with Evolution or Thunderbird or whatever you use to map it to your Google account or your Yahoo account, or Hotmail, whatever have you. This is network. Okay, that's your networking. That's another simple way to get to networks. And then when you have a network opened up or connected, you will see the icon right here. So you can also come here and select a network to connect to. Okay. This is screenshot. That's pretty neat. When you click on that, it will take a screenshot of your desktop. Let me increase the volume a little bit so you can hear how it sounds like. Let's see. Come here. See my input level. Okay. The volume icon. Bump it up a little bit right there. That's fine. So maybe from this point on, my volume will go up just a little bit. Let's take a screenshot. Pretty cool sound. Alright, so you can save the screenshot to anywhere you want, home folder, wherever you want. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna cancel out. Okay, so that's how I take screenshot. You just saw me opening up the sound, so you can manipulate your sound from here. This is the sound manager you use when you use GNOME as well, okay, or any Unity desktops. Alright, that's Plus Audio Manager. And this is sound recorder to record sounds. This is systems info. You saw that when we started this video. And this is the settings, system settings for the different things that you can set up. But you can get the same effect with the enlightenment settings right here that we showed before as well. And so with this one, you can set up things that are sometimes specific to GNOME. For instance, the date. If you want to set up your time and date, it might help doing it from here very easily. Okay. And it will affect the whole system immediately. I showed you the Ubuntu one before. We saw the updates. We're not going to do the software center. It will launch software center. It takes sometimes a couple of seconds to start up. And you have your updates. We showed how you can update your whole Ubuntu based system and also update the core desktop environment, which is E17. And this right here is the camera view that I'm using right now, so you can see my face. I also have the camera open up for another reason, because I'm gonna, at the end of the video, we're gonna see when we look at the notes right here, we're gonna also look at MIF TV. So at that time, I'm gonna point the camera to the TV, and then MIF TV will be playing right here on this screen, so we can compare the regular or the real TV with MIF TV and see how they scale up together on this operating system. So that's why we have the camera actually running. Alright, so let's look at what comes next after the docks. The weather module. Alright, E17 also comes with a pretty cool weather module. Actually, there are a couple of weather modules, but we've enabled only one. Let's see here. Again, 2 modules. Everything is a module, guys. So this is the one I'm going to show you, e-weather. But there are other weather modules here, like forecast, which is also easily put on the desktop. And there is, I think, another one down here, weather. Okay, so there are 3 weather modules here that you can use. The one I'm gonna show is the e-weather right here, which is already loaded, so I don't have to load it, and it's put behind the screen, so you have to do Control, Alternative, and G to get to that. Okay, so this is the weather module. When you click anywhere, it will give you a 4-day forecast. Alright, so this is the forecast for today. This is for Friday, this is for Saturday, and this is for Sunday. And you can click on any one of them to get a bigger picture. Okay, so that's the weather module. Now, E17 does not provide any way to go to the website of the weather channels, but it's easy enough to get to your weather to see what weather forecast is pending. Alright, so we're done here at the bottom. Okay, let me move this over one more time. So what we're going to do next is look at the ones here on the right, sorry. The first one is your speaker module, which I already showed you. You can use to control your volume set. So let me open up a browser and show you how that actually works. Let's find something on YouTube. And this is a built-in E17 application as well, okay? So it's not something that you have to install. It already comes with E17.
Hi Steve, it's Bob Morrison calling. Look man, it's 2 minutes to 9 o'clock.
See?
Not here.
Control like that.
Situation, I wouldn't be so worried.
And you can click on this icon right here. When you do that, it will launch the mixer for you. This mixer is a built-in E17 mixer. You could use that to also control the volume. That's the internal volume.
I don't want to sound paranoid, but I need to know if you're going to be here, or do I have to do the friggin' pitch myself? Sorry I'm late, sir.
So that's how you control.
Not to worry, Steve-O,
You
not to
control
worry.
volumes.
Let's do some friggin' business. Gentlemen, it's good to see you again. I'm sure you all remember my head of sales,
Alright.
Steve Roberts.
So let's close out of that. And let's look at this one. This is the gray colors here. The backgrounds are grayed out because it just simply means there are news that are pending that you need to read. So you can either read them or just set as read over here. If you click set as read, it will make these gray bottoms disappear. Alright. So if you don't have time to read all the news, then you can always just click set as read. But if you don't read the news, you will have this red spots right here showing that they haven't been read yet. So as you read the news, it changes to gray. Okay, so I'm gonna set all of them as red right now. Okay, so now you can see the Google G right there. So this news feed and is the same for the CNN. So let me do the CNN one and set as red. Okay, well, let's click cancel that one and let's go back to the Google one. This Google one, this news feed reader is very easy to use and very simple. You can read the news right here in the window. Okay, so let's pick one here. Earthquake hits Eastern Turkey. Alright, from the Guardian. Alright, so you can either read the news here. You might not get enough news here in this window for this particular news, but then you can always click here. It says click on the text to open article in a browser. When you do that, when you click on that, it will launch your default web browser and open up the news for you. That was so fast, guys. E17 in itself is very fast. That's why we love it, and that's why it's being used in this operating system as the default window in manager. But you saw how quick the news opened up from the feed. Earthquake hits Eastern Turkey from the Guardian. Alright, so that's how this news feed reader works. So anytime you want news to read, you can come here and click on that and read some news. If you want to update, right click on that click on update, so it will update it to the current news as well. So you always have current news to read. Okay, so that's easy enough. It's the same with the CNN, so we're not gonna do that. This is your browser. This is your file manager. I think I showed that before. That's it. Nautilus file manager. Let's see the version that's running here. It's Nautilus 3.21. Okay, so that's pretty new. Alright, and this is your terminal. This is your browser to burn CDs and do other file data burning stuff. This is the edit. Let's see what version that's running. Alright, same thing, 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's your image folder, so let's pick up an image here from somewhere. Let's pick this one, that's okay. See that? So you can actually view this in the full screen window. You can just cancel that. Alright, and this is your Kazam screencaster to do screencasting. Alright, we use Kazam a lot. We're not using it today. We're using a simple command line. So as you can see, we're using FFmpeg here. The processor, the FFmpeg is still running, which is recording this screencast I'm doing right now. But if you were to use Kazam, Kazam also uses FFmpeg. Alright, but we're using command line today. MIFTV is what we're gonna cover in the last section of this video, so we're not gonna touch on that right now. But essentially, this is your front end for MIFTV, and MIFTV is very huge. It's a whole topic on its own, guys. It's a big project. It's a media DVR media application that you can use to run your own DVR in your home systems or on your home theater box and all that. But it's very simple to use with this operating system if you already have a MIFTV box set up, a backend setup. If you don't have a backend setup, then this will not work at all. But if you do have a backend setup, then all you have to do is to go into your let me show you. You go to your MIFTV folder or MIFTV settings. None of the MIFTV, and then MySQL, and then here you give it the IP address of the host name, the backend host name right here, and then you give it the password and everything as well. Okay, this box is locked up tight, so you don't even have to bother looking at the password. I change the password every single day. It's auto-generated. The password is auto-generated, so it changes the password every day. So don't even worry about it. You're not gonna get to my box. Anyway, so if you have MFTV setup, then that's how you use it. So we're gonna show that in a couple of minutes from now. But this is your Evolution email account. You can set up an email account to run your Evolution based on what email you use, Gmail, Google, or whatever. I mean Yahoo, whatever, Hotmail. And these here are your LibreOffice tools. You have your OpenOffice, which is now, I guess, LibreOffice. You use that to do your document type things. For those of you familiar with Microsoft Office, LibreOffice is your substitute for Microsoft Office, and it's very, very, very rich. Okay, it's come a long way from when it started. Alright, so what do we have next to cover? Let's see here. We got to cover everything. One of my favorite. Okay, everything. Now, guys, if you've never used E17 before, everything is amazing. To get to everything, you hold your control and your alternative key and press space bar. Okay, you could do the same thing by just doing alternative key and your escape key. You get the same feature. Now with this box open up, you can start typing. It works the same way as Genome Do works, and all those other applications on other operating systems, and also on KDE. I think KDE has a different one that they use, but it works pretty much the same way. The only thing different about this is that you get a rich interface with all your cool icons. The icon view is very, very amazing. Okay, so that's the major difference, and you have different bottoms here to choose which one you want, applications or all or Windows. So Windows will just give you the windows that are already opened up. So if I click on this window here, it will give me a window that's opened up already. Alright, so that's why this disappeared and the window popped up. So if I were to minimize this and do Windows and click on that, it will bring it up for me again. Okay, so that's the Windows section of everything, and the execute buffer right here will execute commands that you have previously executed. Okay, so when we were starting this video, I executed WSCam, which is this camera view right here, and that's why that's showing up over there. Okay, so again, let me make this sticky. It's already sticky. Let me make it borderless and apply. Okay, so we're back to where we started. Alright, so that's how the Windows session and the execute buff works. But the main concept for everything is that you can start typing anything. Say I start typing Firefox or FI, I will get Firefox, and I can just hit enter and it will launch Firefox. If I start typing Xterm, it will start Xterm for me. I can just go ahead and start working. If I start typing home, I will see my home folder. When I hit enter, it will open up my home folder for me. And as you can tell, it opened up with the Nautilus home folder. Okay, so everything is very easy and very simple to use. You just have to play around with it and get a feel for it. But it works the same way as Genome do, like I said, and anything that is installed on your system, you can get that particular application. And even if you write simple scripts, you can get those scripts right here. So I have a script called start ffmpeg or something like that. Start conky is right there. Start conky will start my conky for me, all right, and start Rainlander and all that. So it's very easy to use. Now the one we're going to show in this everything portion is the YouTube videos. So you start typing U or Y or U, and YouTube will pop up. You hit enter, and now I could start typing anything that I know in YouTube that I want to watch. So you will type whatever you would typically type in YouTube search box in here the same way, and you'll get the same results. Okay, so whilst I start typing Chris, I can refine it more with Chris Tomlin, which is one of my favorite musicians, and then I can start watching something. So let's hit enter right here, and it will open the browser, go to YouTube, find a video, and start playing it for me. Alright, so that's how everything works. You can do the same with Google. You start typing something here, let's say programming. Alright, and you can pick one. I pick programming, and if you go ahead and hit enter right here, it will use this action right here, feeling good, feeling lucky. So it will use the same feeling lucky just as Google uses in the search engine when you use feeling lucky. But if you just use your mouse, your arrow keys, you press your right arrow key, you will have different options here. So you can Google for it, or you can look at it in a Wikipedia. You can copy it to a clipboard. You can go to YouTube again and see if there's anything that match that particular keyword, or you can browse it in Wikipedia or browse it in YouTube. So let's go for it. Now it opens up a window in a browser again, and then it will give you your search results just like you would typically open the browser. So essentially what we're doing here is we cut in so many steps, okay, because you will have to click here. If you were to open up a browser, you will have to click here, or you might click here and then type something, type Google websites, and then type the keyword you want to search. And so you essentially eliminate about 3 different steps with one simple command. Alright, both the YouTube and the Google search engines. So everything right here, and again let me go to the settings, and everything is right here under launchers. I think launchers is right here, a launcher. Okay, so you can customize everything right here, everything configuration. You can go here and customize the different plugins. So these are the different plugins. Okay, we have the YouTube plugin, and we have the Google, we have Wikipedia, albums, and you have other kinds of plugins as well. You have playlist. The playlist will play, if you're using the playlist, it will work with certain audio applications such as Audacious. Audacious works pretty well, and then XMMX2 works great as well with our playlist. So instead of using those applications to manage your playlist, you can use everything instead, and you will see all the videos and the cover. You can play, pause, and create audios from everything, Windows and all that. So you can use paging as well. If you use instant messages, you can use paging to manage your messaging instead of using the paging application itself. So everything is pretty huge. We just showed only YouTube and Google, but there's a whole lot to everything than those two. Okay, you get a calculator here. Actually, let me show the calculator. The calculator is just using the equal sign, and again, you can map simple triggers here for everything as well. So if I trigger this to be equal sign, then anytime I do equal sign in everything, I will get the calculator plugin. So let's do that. Everything and then equal sign, and then I can start typing something to add, and it will add it up for me. Let's see. Okay, that didn't get the effect that I was looking for. Let's look at it again. Plugin, calculator. Actually, let's delete that, and let's go here to key bindings, inputs, and then keys. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna map up a key. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, then alt equal sign. Okay, so alt equal sign is right here. What I'm gonna do is map it to my everything plugin, calculator plugin. So this is showing you how you map up keys. Okay, so that's how you map up different keys to get certain effects. Alright, so everything equal sign 7 plus 8. Okay, so now we get an effect. Okay, so that's what I did. Alright, so I mapped my key right here, alternative key with the equal sign, this right here. I mapped it to everything's plugin, calculator plugin. Okay, this is the session for everything launcher. Okay, so then now anytime I do, let's close this window, anytime I do alternative and equal sign, it will open up the everything box, and I can start adding stuff, making calculations here. Okay, or you can, the calculator function works with a lot of different features. I think it does cosines and sine and arctan and all that stuff as well. Alright, so that's the features for the YouTube and Google modules and everything. And I showed you the news module already, which is these two right here. I showed you the system updates already. And the last thing before we do the MIF TV is this one right here. This clock right here. Let me go here. This clock, when you right click on it, you can add events. So if I were to add a new event, I'll click new event. I will just give it some name, some event, and location, some location, very creative now. Alright, now I can give it a certain number of occurrence, repeat every month or every day, every week, whatever. And then you can actually add an alarm to it right here. You click on that, you can add an alarm to it. Okay, I will cancel those alarms, and you can hit OK. Now those windows are disabled, but you can bring them up. Event window right here. The color is in black for this theme, so it doesn't look so great right now, but if you were to go to another window which is has more light to it, you can see that. Okay, it's much clearer here. So this is some event that we just added, and this is some task that's already been added. Let me delete the task and do that again. We didn't do task yet. Okay, so this is event. Let's add a task. So the task is a to-do list. Okay, so let's say wash or do laundry, location, let's say home, and no URL or whatever. We can give you the time, start time, and whatever. Okay, let's pick up a time for say tomorrow. Okay, and then let's pick up an end time for the same day. So we're gonna give it a 30 minutes, or let's say 12 to 1, 12:30 to 1. Okay, let me click this so it's showing calendar and hit OK. Alright, so because with this showing calendar, it doesn't show up here in the to-do list, but then to see it in the calendar, you have to bring up the calendar. Okay, and give the calendar window, and the calendar window is right here, shows up right here. Okay, now so on the date that you selected, you will have these dots right here. Okay, on the 11th, it's gonna give you the do laundry. Okay, and you can move these around to wherever location you want. It's locked by default. You can unlock it, and then you can move it to wherever you want. Okay, you can move it to the side or whatever on your windows, but it's not enabled by default. I was just showing you one way to add events and calendars to your events and tasks to your applications. So let's undo calendar, and now let's delete the task. Let's delete the task and then do it so that it appears here under the to-do list. Okay. Well, let's just add a new task. Okay, so go to Publix, let's say some location again, and let's just add, this is just a simple thing. So since I didn't pick show in calendar, it will show up here under the to-do list box. Okay, so that's how the calendars and the other stuff work with this dates application. Alright, so you can either, and this application, let me show you the about. This application is called Rainlander. It's been in use for a while. Okay, so it's not something new, but if you are new to it, the light version is free. It does not come installed on the system by default. I have to put this on here myself. Alright, but it is free, so just try it out. It has so many different themes that you can use under options. You can select a different skin, and you can also mix different skins. You can have a different date mix up with the different skins date and all that. Okay, well, these are all the different skins you can use. Alright, or you can get more skin here. It goes to the website and you can get more skin. Alright, so it works pretty well with E17, and it doesn't require anything other than downloading it and installing it, and you're good to go. Okay, so the digital clock here is pretty nifty. Not only is it a nice clock, you can right click and start adding events and tasks on your system. Alright, so the last bit is what I'm excited about mostly today, just so you see how MIFTV scales whilst you using this operating system. Alright, so let's launch MIFTV, and I'm gonna make it in a way, put it in a location where we can see the real TV as well. So let me see if I can drag it somewhere here. Okay, so we're gonna cover Conky for now. Okay. Alright. There we go. Let's watch TV. Now, this is live TV, okay? This is not internet TV. This is live streaming TV from MIF backend. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show you the real TV playing with this live TV, with this MIF running as well. So let me start the live TV. That's what is playing right now is Burn Notice on live TV. Let me move the camera there so you can see. That's live TV. Okay. Now we're gonna play MIF TV, and then you can see we can watch the same channels, and then you can see how it scales. Alright, so MIF TV is scaling pretty well, as you can see. The time lapse is just a few seconds, okay? And you don't have to watch the same channel as the TV. You can watch different stuff. Let's say we want to watch CNN. See, the real TV is playing something different, and MIF TV is watching something different. Okay? If I were to switch the real TV to CNN, you will see it playing the same thing as MIF TV as well. Okay? So I think you can see, you get the point. You can see for yourself that MIF TV runs pretty flawlessly on this operating system. Okay. So let me switch the camera again. Alright. And let me show you. This specific laptop is not even, doesn't even have the largest processor that most computers, modern computers have. But it still works pretty well. Okay. So this is running a 2 gigahertz Intel processor, 2 of them. Okay. So essentially, you have a very, very moderate processor. Okay. But still, you have MIF TV scaling pretty well. Alright. So that's the real live TV. Let's watch some recordings. So these are some shows that I have recorded previously. Let's find something. Law and Order. Let's watch that. Let's increase the volume just a little bit.
These are their stories. I thought you wanted me to come.
Christian, you know when your time is.
Aren't you happy to see me?
You can call me later.
So that's MIF TV, guys. It's a whole topic on its own. And one day I'm gonna do a screencast on how you set up MIF TV and have it. Let me show you guys. This laptop doesn't have any connections other than the camera connection. This is the camera connection right here. This is the only connection you see. Okay, Logitech. Okay, as you can tell, this is Logitech. So that's the connection. There are no TV hookups here. This is the back of the laptop. This is the power cable that you see right here. Okay, that's the power cable. There are no other connections. It's just sitting on the table. No other connections anywhere. No TV connections. Nothing. There are no tuner cards. There are no TV tuner cards in this laptop. Okay, it's just a laptop with a MIF TV front end application that can stream MIF TV live and watch recordings as well. So there is nothing attached to this laptop to make it capable of watching TV. So that's how MIF TV works. You set up a backend and you can remotely watch your TV shows and live TV from anywhere within your network without having any tuner cards or whatever on the front end boxes or front end computers. Alright, so with that last bit, I think we have come to the end of this screencast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give this operating system a try. And if you have any suggestions about how we can make things better, let us know. Alright, I have a call coming in. I have to go and pick it up. Thank you for watching this video. A great timing for the call. Alright, peace and